Something that we got to talk about is this toxic masculinity in our society. There's too many young men that think that owning a gun, a 6-hour, an AR-15, a Glock, somehow makes them an alpha male. It's a piece of metal. If a piece of metal makes you feel like an alpha male, then you're not. If tearing people down and demonizing people and bullying people makes you feel like an alpha male, then you're not. If voting for a president who rapes women and sexually abuses women and molests 13-year-old little girls on Epstein Island makes you feel like an alpha male, then you're not. That's gone on for a very, very long time, and it needs to be addressed. Just because somebody is 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old doesn't mean that they're a man. A majority of the white men in this country, the red hatters, emotionally peaked at about 7th grade. They have never learned how to channel their emotions and their feelings. So you get things like January 6th, where they didn't like the results of an election, so they went to what they know, their primal alpha male gun mentality. I'm going to hurt people. So they went out and beat police officers, cut off their fingers, stabbed their eyes, crushed their vertebrae, jammed them indoors, drug them down the steps of the Capitol, because that's their version of masculinity, is ruling over people, being a tough guy. Most of those were white U.S. citizens, not immigrants. I know, that's shocking, right? Look at the gun violence in this country. Between 40 and 47,000 people die every year from gun violence. 93% of those are young white men between the ages of 17 and 25. Some of those are boys at 17. U.S. citizens, I know, shocking. Because they don't know how to handle their emotions. We have done a really bad job of raising young men to value women, their feelings, having compassion, empathy, and kindness. For these men, these fake Christians, these Pharisees that go to church, they view Jesus as not masculine, right? He cured the sick. He gave food to people. He sat with his enemies. He put the guard's ear back on. He said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And these wannabe alpha males, they don't want that. They want Barabbas, the insurrectionist, the arsonist that wants to burn Rome to the ground. It's who they've always chosen. You can argue that Barabbas was the first MAGA alpha male, the Sanhedrin that crucified Jesus in the name of God. It's the same alpha male mentality today. Too many young men wouldn't vote for Vice President Harris, not just because she was black, but because she was a black woman. To them, that was a double whammy. There's a reason that this country hasn't had a woman president in 249 years, when 50% of our country are women. Because for too many little boys, they view that women are too emotional. Really? Did you see January 6th? Primarily white men. 93% of the gun violence, like I said prior, is white men. But somehow women are too emotional, right? Sure. Uvalde, Sandy Hook, Partling, all men. All full of rage and anger. What is true masculinity? I'm going to share a personal story. So I coached baseball for many years. And we all know the baseball dads. Not that moms can't do it, but it's primarily these little beta alpha males, right? That need to be a real man, that pew, 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 because they need to be a real man. And their only measure of success is winning, right? They're yelling at the umpires. He's not out. Little Billy, swing at that. Oh, why didn't you throw a fastball there, right? They you know what I'm talking about. When we have our pizza party before the season, I told them that winning is the least important part of my job as a coach. And they were shocked. I said, I want your kid to come early, to stay late, to work hard, and to be a good teammate. There's 13 or 14 teams in this league. If you tell them that the only measure of success is winning, you're telling 13 teams full of about 14 kids each, 100 and plus kids, that you're losers. That's not a good message, because there's more to baseball than just winning. There's more to life than just winning. There's more to work than just winning. There's more to relationships than just winning. When my kid played high school, he had an injury. And he didn't make the team because he wasn't fully recovered. The next season comes and he makes the team. Okay? He ends up having like the fourth best batting average and like the second lowest ERA in the team as a pitcher. He had an outstanding season, and he got the award for the most valuable, most improved player on his team. And I'm one of those dads that don't talk to the coach. It's between my kid and the coach. It's his life. It's his journey to take. And before the last game, I emailed the coach. The only time I emailed him all season. I said, Coach, thank you for what you did this year and volunteering your time. I don't care if my kid bats first, last, if he rides the bench. That's not my priority as a dad. I just want to know one thing. Was my kid the hardest worker on your team? And he said, yes. Nothing else mattered to me as a dad. Whether he plays, doesn't play, whether he plays in college, goes to the majors, that's not relevant to me. I taught my son how to fail. He got cut from the team and it was devastating. But because I taught him how to fail, he worked harder. He went to the gym more. He went to private lessons. We went in the batting cage more. He pitched more. He watched videos. He worked hard. And if I hadn't have done that with these little wannabe alpha males, what happens? They get depressed, they get angry, and they quit, and they give up, and they feel like they're entitled just because they think they're a good player. My kid's going to take that lesson outside of baseball with life. Whether he gets fired from a job, whether he breaks up with the girlfriend, a friendship doesn't go the right way, any number of failures in life. I've set those young men up for success by teaching them how to fail. And for you toxic masculinity out there, you have to stop viewing failure as weakness. Look at something like WD-40. What if that person gave up after 38 times, 39 times? They would have never created WD-40. There's no shame in failing. Sometimes that's how you get to success. It builds character. I lift weights, okay? I know I may not look like it, but I do. When you work out, you create micro tears in your muscles. And when you do that and you eat protein, it builds your muscle up. And that's what you have to do. You have to put your pride aside and this toxic, unhealthy masculinity and grow as a person. And I'll leave you with this. For real men don't vote for presidents that rape women. Real men don't vote for presidents that sexually assault over 25 women. Real men don't vote for presidents who molest 13-year-old girls on Epstein Island like Katie Johnson. That's what a real man is. Who are you going to be? You going to be someone that stands with women? Or are you going to sit by because you need to be an alpha male? That choice is yours, men. But we need to do a better job about raising our kids and teaching them how to fail. Because that's how they become better people. That's how they become stronger people. And that's a great life lesson for them to have.